Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So, in the past 1 week, I have shared so many YouTubes, and our Wing Chun friends, after watching this YouTube, have messaged me and asking me all kinds of questions. And some of our Wing Chun friends is saying that, oh, so Wing Chun is really a holistic system. And some say, can you please share more on this thing? And some asking me on the 6.5 pole, what is it about? Where is it come from? So if you want to know about the 6.5 pole, please watch this YouTube of mine. So you know what is the 6-point hub pole of Wing Chun 1850 is about. And also for the history connections to the anti-Qing, please watch this YouTube making by Sifu Kleber. Okay, so this is the King Hua Wei Gun, the anti-Qing Red Book Opera model here. And then also in the same YouTube, you can see that in museum, the coin using by the Small Knife Society. And what in this wall is actually the writing, the rule of Li Man Mao, who is the leader of the King Hua Wei Gun, the leader of Yikam, my ancestor. Okay. So all this secret society, all of them are Hongmun. Okay. In today's term, in America, it is Chinese Freemasons. So if you want to see more about the, uh, the details and actually go there and see things from the history, please watch this YouTube. Sifu Kleber did a good job. He really go down there and take the video and explain it really well. This is really for history. Okay. Now, today, due to all of the discussions with our Wing Chun friends, I like to share with you something really serious for Wing Chun. And there is the dignity of Wing Chun. This is a serious stuff. It's not about me. It is about the entire Wing Chun and Wing Chuners. Today, if you look at Wing Chun, you have the movies, you have the TV series, you have that the Shaolin, Shaolin, all sort of stuff. You got this Hong Kong movie. Well, this is just to be serious. Martial artists, like Kung Fu martial artists from other style in China, see that Wing Chuners are actually blinding themselves. They're living in this type of self-create delusion. Okay? Now, this is a serious matter because Wing Chun, there is no dignity in the Chinese Kung Fu world. Reason? If you watch this, you have the Yip Man fighting the Mike Tyson in the movie, not real. And then all kinds of stories here, fighting for the country and so forth. And then you have the Southern Shaolin and all this stuff. But in reality, okay, and this is the Bai Ga Zai, the Liang Zhan story and so forth. In the reality, all of those are made up and nobody respect it in the Chinese Kung Fu uh, community. For example, if you're asking about Wing Chun, the uh, the beginning of Wing Chun, if you go to say Hong Kong, you go to Fatsan and so forth, asking the root of Wing Chun, this is what often people pointed out to you. This is written by somebody from the Shaolin Wang Chun, Eternal Spring. And here it said that they point out that what Liang Zhan teach is not authentic Shaolin Wang Chun. This has been there for decades, decades, beginning of 1900 is already there. Okay, or mid 1900 is already there. So if you're asking people on Wing Chun, Wang Chun, and so forth, they'll show you this. This is where Wing Chun is from. And recently, there's a meeting of the Wang Chun people years ago. And here again, they say that Wing Chun is actually uh, by Liang Zhan from Shaolin Wang Chun. Is there any respect for Wing Chun? For Liang Zhan? Disregard of how you play in your movie? Of course not. This is for, at least for sure, this is mid 1900 is already there and in writing, right? Not to mention the stories and everything until become writing. This is last year, if I'm not wrong, 2024 or 2023. That's what they see in Canton, in China. This is a book written by a Fujian white crane Sifu who live in Hong Kong. Over here, it just it say directly, clearly it say in black and white in his book that is it call it Wing Chun or Shaolin Wang Chun? It's just a name. It doesn't matter as soon as you can market it. For Chinese, it's a big deal. Okay, it's like were you using other people's last name? And here you say that you look at Bruce Lee. How many Wing Chun people making money uh, following Bruce Lee, but how much authentic Kung Fu does Bruce Lee have? This is in the book. So there's how much respect they give it to you. And of course, 5 years ago, when people say, well, people using MMA in the, sorry, people using Wing Chun, like in UFC fight. And Xi Xiaodong over there, it just say, come on, there's no Wing Chun there. And then he's talking about the Wing Chun. This is how much dignity you have for Wing Chun. This is the historical problem you need to solve. People writing this thing and the story, of course, already. The story is at the end of Qing Dynasty, so it's 1800, late 1800 or mid 1800, where Liang Zhan is there. And then this is written, this newspaper, and you can look at it. It's like arranged, at least that it is like the mid 1900. This is what they believe even 2024, when people talk about it that way. This is this book is at least 2010, about 2010, year 2010, something like that, around that way. Well, this is 5 years ago, 2020. If you look into history, Wing Chuners is living in this fantasy, cell-made fantasy, while the external world is looking at you with this, 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 and this is all public in public. Not to mention to you, for me is when I was in Fatsan joining this meeting, 2017, in the closed door, they asked me, so what is Wing Chun? What is Wing Chun so great about? What does Wing Chun contribute to the people of Canton and people of China? And that's where I show them the salutation, which is I share with you here. That's the reality. And then starting people asking me, so what is sticking body short strike? Don't you all call in your TV show and everything? Keep san to inta, can you show me what is it? And then there's another grandmaster asked me to do Shiu Lian Tao and checking at my breathing. That is what it is. That is, we Wing Chuner has to be really careful. That's your dignity. When people look at you, what it is. Of course, people outside people won't say anything, but inside their heart, what is it? Now, why is it get into today, like this today? There's a reason for that. Okay? Historical, there's a reason for that. Now, the first thing is, as when I was in Fort San, I was asked, so what is Wing Chun sticking body short strike? What is that? How is it? Where is it from? Well, when you talk with martial artists, Kung Fu friends with Kung Fu friends, you go straight direct. You got a movie saying that it is San to Inta. You got all around here talk about San to Inta. Of course, people is going to ask you, what is sticking body short strike? And this is in Fatsan. If I won't be able to show that salutation, it's over. Because all those people who sit down there, their ancestor either fought in the Japanese Chinese battle, the Chinese fighting the Japanese invasion battle. How many of them? You just count your finger. You look at like Bak Mei, like Long Yang, like Choi Lei Fat. How many of them fighting in that Chinese fighting Japanese invasion war or battle, defending the Chinese with their kung fu. And yet, is there any records of anybody, any Wing Chun do that? Because there's none. So that people asking me. That's why I share that the salutation and that clear up everything. Because many Chinese Kung Fu in Canton, they are Hong Mun descended. Okay? So everybody know about the Gua Pai and all this thing. So there's your dignity. If you keeping talking about this in the movie and everything, once upon a time, blah blah blah, but you don't know, you cannot show it. Now you got a problem, a serious problem, because what stick in the history, we like it or not, is this type of thing, 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 and many, many, many more. You cannot clear yourself. Okay. Now the root of what happened today, it turned into this. Do we know? Yes, we know what happened. So since 1870 approaching Wing Chun, Wing Chun is actually a local commercial school, local individual commercial school. For those who do not know what is approaching Wing Chun 1850, this is not anti-Qing. Please watch this YouTube, this podcast. I share it for all. And this is a year ago, 4,000 viewers, and many complained to Mark about why do he show this podcast. Well, because this is Chinese history, okay? Now, so if you want to know about this poaching and everything, every bits of this is based on, again, historical evidence. The notion I show all of this is because the dignity of Wing Chun. Like, for example, you see all of this, where Wing Chun is, what Wing Chun is, where Wing Chun come from and everything. Will these people dare to say this nonsense again? Like Liang Zhan is teaching not authentic Wing Chun, Liang Zhan this, Liang Zhan that, and then this white crane guy say, well, it doesn't matter, just look down, step at your Wing Chun. Or Xi Xiaodong say, oh, Wing Chun is this, Wing Chun is that. Will they be able to step at Wing Chun? Of course not, because we have history, the real life history. But many people cannot take it. Why? Is because it is not the history, the dignity of Wing Chun and all Wing Chuners which they care. They care only for themselves. So we know that it's a local commercial school is not even that big in the in Phật San, in Canton. It just get popular only after Bruce Lee get famous. Now, what is the problem here? So what is the problem that you get into like the chaotic situation like today? So when I was in here, Grandmaster Chan Gan Fire of Hong Seng Tri Fa introduced me to a person who is the researcher, who is official in Fat San, in the history, Mr. Tang Gong Meng. So at that time, I went there because I want to know what is going on and I want to compare notes on what my Sifu told me on the past. That's why this is a trip of verification too. So I told Mr. Tang Gongming, I said, let's compare note. According to my Sifu, this is what happened after 1870 because they no longer are anti-Qing. So it is like if you go to learn Kung Fu, like here you learn Wing Chun. The first level of teaching is teaching sets, not applications. teaching you sets, not applications. The second is like teaching you 小念頭, 尋橋標誌, but never applications. The second is teaching applications, the second level. This hand technique, that hand technique, this hand technique, that hand technique, but not functional training. For example, breathing. The third level is teaching functional training, but not momentum. The fourth is teaching momentum, but not the concrete, the classic. So you will not be able to see the big picture. The fifth is teaching the concrete, but not explain it in the details. So you have this five level of teaching, according to my Sifu Chun told me. So from outside student to the so-called insider student, you go through this. And usually the fifth is only teaching to your own son. The fourth is teaching to those student which is long, long time with you. Okay. So I asked Mr. Teng Guangmei, what do you think? He said, yes. In the past, it depends on how much money you pay. It depends how much money you pay. Teach you what? So it is true. Now, that's why you look at all the Wing Chun since 1870. It is only at level 1 and level 2. Okay? Sets and applications. And then they go continue on teach other people. And they will change their application like 摊手 using this way, that way, all the 扫. And then sets also. Set will say, well, this guy teach me this secret set, that secret set. Sound familiar? Oh, this set is from this authentic guy, from this grandmaster, blah, blah, blah. This set is different from that sets. And then this hand techniques is different from that hand technique. Sound familiar? Well, because you don't see many people go through that. So you have almost the entire Wing Chun today is like that. Let's just question the question. Let's talk about breathing. Who have the functional training and breathing? Momentum, you seldom heard about it. The entire macro and micro detail, as I share with you here, you seldom heard about it. If you don't know that exists, how can you train? What other people have that? So, due to that, only first and second level, and the rest is there. And if the teacher die, then the entire thing is lost. So your Wing Chun evolve into application-based art. Evolve into application-based art. Hand techniques only. So today everybody is talking about this hand technique, that hand technique, that hand technique. But did anybody teach you how to breathe in your EG Kamyongma? What people love to argue, but you can see that they cannot breathe. So there's no identity, there's no macro detail, there's no in-depth. It is completely lost connection to the part because the past because the 3, 4, 5 is completely gone. You look at today's Wing Chun, isn't it that way? Everybody create their own stuff. And this is the application-based art. So it's called San Sao. San Sao meaning, oh, you train the set this way. And then the Sifu teach you, you're going to use this for this for this for this. It is not a comprehensive holistic system for the complete five level anymore. It doesn't have the 3, 4, 5. So since 1870 until today, Wing Chun is individual create San Sao base. So you can look at it even from the same Sifu. There are different so-called grandmaster have their different way of how to use the hand techniques. But have they ever talked about the functional training, the breathing training, the momentum, and more in detail, like the strategical stuff, the tactical stuff, the forearms, like I shared with you last time? No. So if you don't have that forearms, if you don't have that forearms, how is that a sticking body short strike? As in the in the previous YouTube I shared with you in this just watch it. So that is the situations. That is the situations. So due to that, the Wing Chun for past 130 years evolved into this hand, that hands. Oh, this village have 22 hand, 13 hand, 14 hand, whatever hand. Those are how many applications they have. And then they have the Honga add in, or Yi Quan add in, or Tai Chi add in. Where do you think those structure and mind power of Wing Chun today come from? Well, you can see it is Tai Chi and Honga stuff. And then somebody will say, fight like a boxing, Western boxing. Well, somebody mix up with the Western boxing. And these few years, you can see that people after year 2000, you have the mix up with the BJJ, kickboxing. And then they say, well, those are Wing Chun. So it will say that Wing Chun is a concept of everyone fight differently. Wing Chun is a structural art. Well, how can, like for example, a judo, which is fighting really close, can that have a structure, the body structure? Judo is a closing art, close body art, sticking body arts. Will there be have the structure like Honga? Of course not. So it evolved this. So it lost the three, four, five, and evolved on the top of this, keeping create their stuff. Okay. So it turned into your interpretation, my interpretation, this lineage, that grandmaster, this legend said that story. No matter what they do is in the first two level, and when they do not get adequate of it, they go to get it from Western boxing, Tai Chi, Honga, BJJ, kickboxing, and they call that Wing Chun. Will the old timer know that? Sure. Because people want to know what is sticking body short strike. But most will have their mind set on this for past 100 years. Okay, so again, this thing is printed, say, mid 1900, but this story is about the end of Qing dynasty when Liang Zhan is teaching and this Dao Qinhua is teaching. So often when I asking the Asian Hong Kong friends about the Wing Chun, I want to reason with them. They show me this. They say, "Well, this is the truth." And you know what? I cut all those things, those people away. I said, "Are you serious? Don't give me bullshit." The one thing I always tell all these people is that show me your gua pai. Don't tell me you're anti-Qing. Show me your 挂牌. Show me your 挂牌. I'm a Hongmun descendant. Show me your 挂牌. If you say that you are under this, in the red boat, this, well, show me your 挂牌. If you cannot show me your 挂牌, take your ancestor away. Don't mess around with Wing Chun. Okay? So people shut up because they don't have it anyway. Talk is cheap, but were you willing to show whatever, back your claim? And of course, I make a lot of enemy on this, but it doesn't matter. I got enemy from outside or enemy from inside Wing Chun. The number one thing is there is the dignity of Wing Chun. The dignity of Wing Chuners, we must hold on, or else you are nobody. People step on you. Of course, those who really know Kung Fu and once you show them all this thing, they accept you. Why? Because this is history, because you walk your talk. It's not that you're number one fighter. You don't. Okay? History. So that's why it is. This dignity problem is not solved for past 130 years. Then, you can have all your interpretation and everything, but come on. The people look at you from outside. It's not going to respect you because they have their belief too. And for past 130 years, you will not be able to show evidence to break their claim. It is not fair, right? People assume you to be guilty. Like when I talk with people, they always bring this thing up. Hey, your Liang Zhan is this, your Liang Zhan said, I always tell them too. I'm not descendant from Liang Zhan. I go direct from the anti-Qing. This is my Hongmun Gua Pai. What do you have? If you don't have it, isn't that you need to stop talking? I don't care what grandmaster you from, which grandmaster you from. I have that identity. This sound like I'm gonna piss off everybody. But man, this is the dignity of Wing Chun. You want to stand tall. For example, General Chi Chi Guang's army. At age 57, General Chi Chi Guang was fired by the emperor. At the age 60, General Chi Chi Guang passed away because he is so poor that he doesn't have money for medicines. A great Chinese hero died that way in poverty. And then, of course, the army is put aside until the Manchurian come from the north, conquering China. So you have some General Chi Chi Guang's troop left. They fought until the last drop of blood. If you want to be a warrior, you do that. And the at that time, the king of the Manchurian gets shocked because of this small group of people create so much damage to the Manchurian army. This is in history. So it's destructive. But it is dignity which is important. 400 something years, almost 500 years later, we remember them. That is what dignity is. If you're a warrior, you're a martial artist, that is the dignity you protect. Like the Japanese, if you watch the movie The Last Samurai, if you don't have that dignity, you're over. Okay? So later, people using Bruce Lee as promotions. Even today in China, people build out the statue of Bruce Lee saying that this under this, the whatever. Well, that's for tourism. Is that true that we can use a Wing Chuner can use Bruce Lee as a as a public city for past so many years? Oh, no. Why? This is the fan of Xi Xiaodong, the MMA guy. They pull out Bruce Lee's letter to say that Bruce Lee don't train Wing Chun. Bruce Lee said Wing Chun is a land swimming. So, so you're using Bruce Lee, but it backfire. This is as why I say this Xi Xiaodong's fan in China and making a YouTube and everybody know. So stop the saying that Bruce Lee practiced Wing Chun. No, Bruce Lee have created his own Jet Kundo. And then you use movies, all those movies to brainwash. Well, who do you screw? The reality is you're doing those kind of stuff, you're only screwing the real Wing Chuners. The one who is royal to Wing Chun, the one who is following Wing Chun, who is really royal to Wing Chun. Instead of telling them the truth, instead of telling them that we can improve, we can get back what we have from our ancestor and proceed, it numb them with movies. So those are like an opium. And then you can start to seeing that many people, like often some Wing Chun friends telling me, say, oh, this guy is a BJJ guy, and but he opened a Wing Chun school using somebody to teach it. And then he went to Hong Kong and so forth, and then he teach a Wing Chun school. Does he know Wing Chun? He doesn't know Wing Chun. It's just for what? Money making. Who cares? What is the dignity of Wing Chun? Who cares? And so that's a reality. And lately, people love to do this, traveling to China, interview this guy, interview that guy, and saying there's a research for the truth of Wing Chun. Start a self-righteous Wing Chun style. For example, these two, YouTube, both are claiming that they went to China to to interview, okay, and one is targeting at Yip Man. One is targeting at Wing Chun 1850s, no, which is I share with you all on this thing by evidence. There is nonsense. So these two, they're the same thing. Traveling somewhere, claiming that they are doing research with all this grandmaster. Like this guy is saying that then he made up Liang Bei. You're talking about Yip Man. Okay. At the end of the video, guess what? At the end of this video, guess what? Now it's available, scan the order, six core element. Sorry, that's my invention. This one with this thing, this YouTube, the same. No, it's not what they think. At the end, order this today. So this is nothing to do with to solve the problem for the dignity of Wing Chun and Wing Chuners to make Wing Chun strong and great again, like in the fighting the uprising in the 1840 for the people, by the people, of the people. You go, everybody go, and people respect you. It's not that. It's for personal profit. Does it solve the problem of this? When people say, hey, your Liang Zhan is this. When people say that your Wing Chun is nonsense, and when people say, no, what is real Kung Fu and all this thing, when people laugh at you, say, well, MMA, no, I mean, those are just for fun. And then your Wing Chun is just like that. So Xi Xiaodong is a MMA guy, right? So does it solve that problem, that Wing Chun dignity problem? No. What is this for? You make this YouTube, after make this YouTube pick at people looking at that thing, whatever, doing your claim, and then you're selling something. What do you solve for Wing Chun? What do you contribute for Wing Chun? And then you say, this is my truth. Truth what? That's why, watch my YouTube at front there. Okay. All this YouTube. So this is how Wing Chun become. And then claim that we're the best fighter and all this thing. Or chi, magical power, all this thing. Like living in some kinds of a different world. Well, let me share with you the truth of Chinese Kung Fu. There's no such thing as best fighter in real life. Real life is not sport competitions. And even sport competitions, there is no always a best fighter, right? But in the real life, so in the competitions, you can have this guy a few years, he's the best fighter, and then he's no longer there. Okay, his body get injury and so forth, so forth, so forth. And then, but in the real life, there is no the best fighter. There is no real best fighter in the real life. The Chinese don't believe on it. There's a Fa Jing and all this internal Tai Chi ultimate guru bullshit. The Chinese never believe on it since 1560. Well, you might say, why, Hendrik, I challenge you for those and the truth, everything. Let me share with you. The Chinese is based on the Chinese Kung Fu, the real Chinese Kung Fu is based on this, the Qi Shi Guang striding, 1560. And over here, is talking about every style of this above unarmed combat style has its strength. However, every style has only partial solution. It only has either the upper body or lower body unarmed combat solution. And then you talk about if we fuse the strength of all of this style and create the system, this system will be like the modern Chang snake battle array. It will function in the following way. When one attack the snake head, the tail respond. When one attack the snake tail, its head respond. Okay. When one attack the snake middle part, its head and tails respond together. This means having a system which have both upper body and lower body and arm combat solution. This is a superior and superior martial art system. Well, don't this whatever they state in 1560 is very close to today's sports MMA. But this is not sport. This is for battle. The preparation for the battle, the training for the army is within this. So who say that MMA is mixed martial art is created by Bruce Lee or whoever here? No. 450 years ago, General Guang have already used it in the battlefield against a Japanese pirate who is good in jiu-jitsu at one way, samurai sword in the other way. And this is what it is, okay? Take a snapshot, you can read it. And here is one need to have a broad combat knowledge and keep learning. And the one who can predict the momentum trend win. There is no best fighter. Okay, and there is no best fighter. And here, this is the way how the training, the attitude is. Once you learn the skill, you must test your skill on your opponent. The goal of testing is to find out the cause of winning or losing. Do not feel proud of your victory or shame being defeated. If you are afraid of your opponent, then you still do not have enough skill. A good fighter certainly has a refined skill. The ancients have said high level and skill support one's courage. This is the truth you can trust. This is the teaching. Wing Chun 1850 is based on this General Guang teaching. This is your bong sao, your Wing Chun bong sao. This is the characteristic how you're going to transform your bong sao to different strikes. It's written here. This is the MMA of 1560. The long fist, the short strike, where your Wing Chun you look like your Wing Chun stuff, and your ground fight. It's not BJJ. This is what it is. 1560. This is Qi Guang, as I explained before. This is Wing Chun 1850. So, I want to share with you one more thing. So the General Qi Guang training their army this way in unarmed combat. Okay? Because they might need it. But in the real life, they have an array called Mandarin Duck Array. Mandarin Duck Array. If they found out that there's any superior samurai fighter, okay, there's the superior samurai fighter. So how they fight them? This is how they fight them. So this is Qi Guang Army. Now it's animate here. This is what it is in drawing. You can get your best fighter. In the real life, we take you down. We don't even need the best training guy. We just need to have a have a standard of training army by having this array to take you down. So there is no such thing as best fighter in the real life. Real life is not sport competitions. And real life is not this. You study some Tai Chi and then you mix it up and you say, well, this is internal. Or this thing. You study MMA the core in MMA, and then you put some Wing Chun icing, and then you make it, oh, this is the truth of Wing Chun. And then you put this guy, which is just a hand technique guy, 散扫 guy, not even going through the functional training and the momentum and the quit as grandmaster. So that's the reality. For the dignity of Wing Chun, we want it or not, we as a Wing Chuner, we have to face this. We have to face this mess, and we have to know that you want to claim you do research, you better be able to solve the Wing Chun identity and dignity problem, or else it's clear, what are you doing? So this is to share with you. Dignity is important. If you belong to a fighting art, you study a fighting art, it cannot be everybody's invention. Not to mention that the Chinese Kung Fu master don't respect you, don't look, they look down on you. That's why I already shared with you. And then you say you do research. Do you solve the problem for Wing Chun? You solve the problem for Wing Chuners? You don't. You just create more mess, misleading. That's why last week I put so many YouTube there is one time I want to clear this nonsense up, okay? This is Chinese culture. This is not for you to screwing around, okay? So if Wing Chun completely vanish like the General Qi Ji Guang's army, fight until the last drop of the blood, and then vanish in the world, that's okay because there is dignity there. But you keep creeping create nonsense like a Tai Chi, Wing Chun, or you teach Tai Chi and then you say this is a Wing Chun by some Wing Chun Tan Sao move. Or you are the guy who fight in MMA and then you say, fight me, I'm the best fighter. This is Wing Chun. I know the truth I know the truth of Wing Chun. Seriously? You think Xi Xiaodong cannot see you through that who you are, what you have? So today I like to share with you this big headache called dignity. Wing Chuners who love Wing Chun, Wing Chuners who really care, Wing Chuners who really love their lineage or their grandmaster, then need to face the reality to restore Wing Chun. I didn't say that it will not evolve. I say that one need to know who one is. One need to solve Wing Chun's problem. That is called contributions. But if you just create problem, attack this guy, like attacking the 1850s Wing Chun with nonsense, and then you try to sell it with using attacking other people, attacking the Wing Chun history to make personal profit. That is unethical and really low in moral. Or if anybody say, well, I can fight you. Well, fight what? Go fighting Xi Xiaodong, see that Let's see 小东西, are you fighting with them with Wing Chun or something else? You think we all can how to say that can cheat the entire world? The entire world have a lot of good fighter, a lot of good martial artists. So at the end, when you do all this thing, who you cheating? Who you kidding? Only Wing Chuners. You don't have the dignity of Wing Chun. You turn around for your own profit. You are actually take advantage of the Wing Chuners who believe on you, who trust you. Now that's low, okay? So this is what I like to share with you all. I know what I share here is a headache. I know, uh, as people say, there's one time the other guy told the world, Hendrik pissed everybody off. So be it. You know why? The Wing Chun ancestor, when they fought in the 1854 anti-Qing uprising with Hong Seng, Choi Lei Fat, Lei Man Mao, and so many people, they put their life and death sideways. Okay? For the people, of the people, by the people. That's why today, if you show that salutations and you tell the story, you tell what is the history, people respect you because what they respect is the people who contribute to the Canton, the Canton's people, and the Chinese people. It's not that who is this is grandmaster, this grandmaster that, because martial artists don't give a damn on that. Will you be able to be righteous, stand up with the dignity? That is what it is. It doesn't matter. It is like in the movie, described in The Last Samurai or China. See how many in records in the battle records when the Japanese fight the Chinese general fight until the last drop of blood. The Japanese general salute him. Why? That's how it's supposed to be. If you're a warrior, if you want to be a warrior. So, as the other guy said, well, Hendrik pissed off everybody. Yeah, so be it. Why? Because I'm not here to talk, to sweet talk everybody, making all the money. You're nice, I'm nice. Oh yeah, we all buddy and all this thing. And then you know what? You show off Wing Chun, you show off your people, Wing Chuners. You lead them into astray. If you are good, you provide solutions, you're helping all the Wing Chuners, you deserve to be a grandmaster. I praise that. I clap for them. But if you cannot do that, like you see in the Yip Man movie, I think the 40 Man movie, like the Yip Man come to America, of course, it's never happened. And people have this idea saying that, the Chinese always have to be proper and so forth. The idea is to be righteous, to helping people, of the people, by the people, for the people. But do you do that? So remember, those who love Wing Chun, remember the dignity. You can be a billionaire, whatever self-claim, or you can be an MMA best fighter and claim put a label on a Wing Chun, and you can beat all the Wing Chuners. Still, you have no respect because you don't have dignity.